Have you ever asked a narcissist to do something for you? And yet, have you ever noticed the types of excuses they come up with? In this video, I'm going to go over 7 of the top excuses that narcissists come up with when you ask them for favors. Hey there, I'm Rebecca Zung. I'm an attorney. I'm also a narcissist negotiation expert. I've been recognized as one of the top 1% of attorneys in the country by US News and World Report as a best lawyer in America. I've also written a couple of best-selling books, Negotiate Like You Met Her, Breaking Free, a Step-by-Step Divorce Guide. I also have a brand new book, Slay the Bully, How to Negotiate with a Narcissist and Win. And I am here to help you break free from toxic relationships. I've helped many thousands of people do the same thing. And that's why I provide free new content for you every single day. And if that is what you are looking to do, whether it's a business relationship or a personal relationship, go ahead and subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell so that when I release new content, which is every single day, you can get notified. 7 excuses narcissists come up with when you ask them for favors. Crazy. And believe me, I know I have been there. Why have I been there? Not just in helping people in my law practice or, with my practice now, which is helping people all over the world break free from toxic relationships and helping people negotiate. I help people negotiate all over the world now. And if you are in a situation where you're trying to negotiate with a narcissist and you're looking for ways to break free, I have a free ebook for you, which you can get at winmynegotiation.com. Just go to winmynegotiation.com and grab my free ebook. Well, I've also been dealing with it. I have dealt with it in my personal life. I had a covert narcissistic business partner, and the excuses that they come up with are just insane to me. And it's really, really pretty difficult and crazy, and they make you feel like you're crazy. And especially when you're dealing with a covert narcissist, because the rest of the world thinks that they are wonderful. The rest of the world thinks that they're charming. So you don't want to bring up to the rest of the world what's going on a lot of the times, because when you do, a lot of the times people think, well, maybe it's not so bad. Maybe it's inadvertent. Maybe it was a mistake. Maybe they didn't mean to, those kinds of things. Or maybe they meant for that to be nice. There's so many different things that happen. So you get to a point where you just don't want to really bring it up to other people anymore, but yet you're literally, the life is being drained out of you one moment at a time, one item at a time, one thing at a time, So I just wanted to highlight this for you, because not as a let's pile on and talk about how bad narcissists are, but really more so that when you hear these things, it will help you to see you're not actually crazy, that these things actually do exist. They do these things to make you think you're the one who's crazy. Then you can start to go, wow, this is actually happening. This person is a narcissist, or maybe even a covert narcissist. It will help you start to heal. You can start to break free. You can actually start to take control of your life, and you can start to then create boundaries and shift that dynamic, and then start to create a plan for your life to move forward. I say step 1, don't run. Step 2, make a U-turn. Step 3, break free. But you have to stop that conditioning, then turn it around, and then break free. I always say, you're shifting that paradigm, you're turning it around. In order to turn that ship around, turn it around, you've got to figure out what it is that you're dealing with first, right? You can't do that without knowing what it is that you're dealing with. You've got to be able to identify it. You've got to be able to see it first. Okay, so that's the purpose of me making videos like this, because I don't want you to think, oh, let's just trash talk narcissist, because that's not really helpful to you. It's helpful to you to be able to identify what it is that you're looking for so that you can then become empowered with the information and start to live into your purpose and break free. So, number one is they'll say, I have to work. A lot of times they'll say, I would love to. I want to help you, but I can't. I have to work. And what's crazy about this one is you'll see that maybe they didn't have to work, or that they did have the opportunity to help you beforehand or after, or maybe you find out they didn't necessarily have to work that particular day, or they didn't have to work as long, or maybe they could have given you some extra time at that time. There's something passive aggressive about it. Like when they say they have to work, maybe they could have stopped on their way, like maybe you want them to stop and pick up a prescription for you on the way to your work or on the way home from work or something like that. But they'll say, I can't, I have to work. And you know that there's an opportunity where they could help you, but they just say they can't. I have to work. It's an excuse that they use. It's an opportunity for them to tell you that they don't care about you, because you know that given a will, there would be a way. And if it were a person that they actually cared about, then they would. Or if somebody were watching that they cared about, then they would. Or if it were somebody where it meant that they would get good exposure, then they would make it happen because it would make them look good. Then they would, And so when they say these things, that it really is just an excuse. Okay. So that's number one, because you just know that they just don't want to. And it especially if it's literally like right on their way. Number two is, I don't feel well. This one again is, always situational, because again, you'll see that they don't feel well, but then the very next day, if something comes up where they really want to do it, there they are, they miraculously feel so much better. Or even that same day that they miraculously feel so much better. They just didn't feel well to do the favor for you. And so, it's so very obvious that they just didn't feel well when they were being asked to do something that was a favor for you. They actually might not feel well when it's a conversation that you might want to have that is a favor for you. So you might say, can you be on the phone when I have to talk to this person that it's a difficult conversation for me? And they might even say, sure, at the time. And then when it comes time to actually have the conversation, they'll say, I have a headache right now, or, even halfway through the conversation, they might say, oh, I can't right now. I just having trouble breathing, or my stomach hurts, or whatever. And they don't even end up staying throughout the entire conversation like you asked them to, that sort of thing. I don't feel well. And so these are excuses they come up with because you asked them to do something for you. That's number two. And it's all a way to let you know that they just don't care about you. And they're certainly not going to take the time, their precious time, to do something for you. So that's number two. Number three is, I don't understand what you're saying. What is it that you're saying? What are you asking me? I don't get it. And they'll especially do this in texts. You're asking them to do something, and it's especially something that it's definitely very obvious what you're saying, very obvious what you're asking, and they make it seem like it's so complicated. And eventually we'll just talk about this later, so that they just basically don't ever get to the point. They don't ever have to really answer you, because they act like what you're asking is so, I can't get this right now. We'll just talk about this another time. I'm doing something right now. Can we, I don't understand what you're saying. We'll talk about this later. And so you basically just don't ever get an answer right at that moment. So that's another excuse that they'll give. Number 4 is they'll say, yes, I will do it. And then they just don't. And that's one of the more frustrating ones, because that's a super passive aggressive move. They just don't do it. And then you end up in this quandary of, do I go back and nag them? How many times do I nag them? And then you go back and you nag them. This is especially difficult if you are a business partner of this person, because you go and you say, where is the thing that you said you're going to do for me? And they say, oh, well, I'm going to be getting to that. And sure. And, I just had other things come up this week. I will be getting to it. I didn't forget about you. And then more weeks go by and then they don't. And so that's another sort of thing. It's not even an excuse. It's just, they just don't, which is a super passive aggressive, narcissistic move. That's number 4. Very classic covert narcissist move, by the way. Saw that a lot in the narcissistic business partner. Number 5 is, I never got your text. I never got your message. So that's another excuse that they come up with when you ask them for favors. Oh, I never saw that. I never got your email. It must have gone into my spam. I definitely would have done it for you. You should have let me know. You should have called me. I definitely would have if I had known. Surely, absolutely, I would have been there for you. So, it's never got it. So if you've seen any of these so far, give me a so true in the comments. So true. So true, right? Number 6 is sort of like number 1, but number 6 is, it's out of my way. Number 6 is, I would do it, but it's out of my way. It's out of my way. Even though it's not out of the way, that it's not out of their way, but it's out of my way. I don't have time. So, I can't do this for you because it's, out of my way. I can't make the time. I have to go to this place. I have to get right there. And it's out of my way at that time. Number 7 is the absolute perfect narcissistic response. Number 7, you never help me when I ask, right? Because all relationships are, narcissistic relationships are transactional. It has to be, you scratch my back, I scratch yours. And it's even worse than that, because for a narcissist, it's got to be, you got to do way more for me before I give you a little crumb, and I don't even want to have to give you the crumb, but, I'm only going to do the crumb for you, because if I don't give you the crumb, then you probably won't continue to give me the entire loaf of bread. So I'll give you the crumb, right? So you never help me when I ask is the massive, huge excuse that narcissists give when you ask them for any kind of a favor. And that's why you end up feeling completely and totally depleted, but they're still empty. They're still starving. They're still desperate. They're still gasping for breath, because it's like this black hole inside of them. That's this, thing that can never be filled. They need an endless amount of that narcissistic supply. and you're just going to be completely depleted and feeling like your soul has been sucked from your body if you keep going the way that you are. That's why they're called energy vampires. And you can't continue that way. If you are negotiating with a narcissist, then grab my free Crush My Negotiation prep worksheet at winmynegotiation.com, because it's a free ebook, because you will need that. And it's helped many, many people win their entire negotiations. Don't allow yourself to be sucked in that way. And join my free private Facebook group, Narcissist Negotiators with Rebecca Zung, because you will need the additional support. And make sure that you subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell as well. And the next video that I want you to watch is phrases a covert narcissist uses to lower your self-esteem, because that's the next video that's going to be something that you need to be aware of and help you get prepared in defending yourself and going on the offensive eventually, so that you can actually shift the dynamic and win, which you can absolutely do. It's time to slay narcissists, beat narcissists, and win, right? So make sure that you have subscribed to this channel, hit that notification bell. Remember that today is a great day to start negotiating your best life. I'm Rebecca Zung, and I will see you in that next video.